Hello, this is Randy Orwin from the Information School at the University of Washington. And in this short tutorial, I'm going to show you how to preload your Zoom breakout rooms in advance so that when you log into your Zoom room, all of the rooms are already created and the people are already assigned. So we'll talk about these things here. So we'll show you how to preload groups manually. Then we'll show you how to use a CSV file to simplify that process. And then we'll jump into a meeting where we'll actually load those groups. We'll switch to a random group. Then we'll come back to our preloaded group. And then I'm going to show you a trick where you can actually add a second preloaded group into your meeting while it's still running. Then you can switch to another random group, and then we could switch back to an original group. So let's take a look. So to get started, we're actually going to log into washington.zoom.us. That's going to be the Zoom web portal for the University of Washington. I'm going to do a standard UW Zoom room. And it's going to skip the UW authentication because I'm already logged in with my NetID. Normally you'd see the NetID login screen pop up and do that. So here I am, it shows my meetings. I want to just see the meetings that I own here. And I'm going to do this meeting right here. So I'm just going to jump into this meeting. All right, here we are. We're going to scroll down and we're going to click the edit this meeting. And when we come down to our meeting options, you can see there's this option, breakout room pre-assigned. So I'm going to click that, and I have the option of creating rooms or import from a CSV. So I'm just going to do create rooms real quick. And this is very simple if you have only a few students. So you can go to click here, and I've got 1, 2, say 3 rooms. And then I can put participants' names in, and if they're part of your existing Zoom system, it will actually search for them. So as I start typing, it'll pop those up. And then I can just go down through and I can assign participants that same way. So it's a very simple way to do it. Now, if you have more than this many, then you want to actually do the import from CSV. 2 places you can get to that. So of course, first off, it's right here when you first open the pre-assigned option. But then when you're in the create rooms manually, there's the link down here in the bottom left corner. Both links go to exactly the same location. Now, when you want to create your CSV file, they do have an option up here. So you can actually download the CSV file as a template that lets you see it. So it's pretty easy to set up. I've already done that. So I'm going to bring in this CSV file. I'm going to drop it on, and you'll notice it immediately pops up, and it says I have 3 rooms. I have study group 1, study group 2, study group 3, and if I click on those, I can see that I have 1 person assigned in each one of those rooms. So I'm just going to say save. Now the other thing to note is if you go back and you want to change this, you don't have to do anything. You can just say import from CSV. You can go grab your CSV file, drag it in, and it just replaces everything. So you don't have to even think about it. So it's a nice, easy way to set that up. So I've got everything configured, so I'm going to say save. And now when I come down here, it's going to tell me breakout room. I have 3 breakout rooms. I can view my detail, and that's what's there. And you can actually delete things from this location. So I can go in and say, I'm going to delete that room. I'm going to delete that room. Notice the save button is still here. This is a bug in Zoom that I've just found today. And if I try and delete this room, my save button goes away. But if I cancel, everything that I did stays put. But I could go delete, save. And then it tells me at the top up here, save success. And then when I cancel out of that, now if I refresh this screen, it should say 1 breakout room, view the detail. But as soon as I try to delete that last room, it doesn't work. So that's a bit of a problem. So I'm going to go back into the edit meeting and we're going to reload that room with the appropriate CSV file. So we're going to edit that. I'm going to import from CSV. I want my breakout room 1. And there we go. And I now have 3 breakout rooms. Now I'm cheating with this. I'm actually running this room with some other people in it. And I'm just going to join that room now. And it's going to ask me to join. And I'll drag this over as soon as I get logged in. So here we are. And so now I'm logged into my room and I want to look at my breakout rooms. So I'm going to open up breakout rooms, and these were assigned before, but now I can go in and say underneath the recreate button, recovered my pre-assigned rooms. Do I want to recover them? Yes. So now you can see I have study group 1, study group 2, study group 3 with the people that are in that room. Now I could move those around, so I can move this person to study group 3. And then if I mess up, I can come back here and say revert to pre-assigned rooms. And it puts them back in the exact same order. And then I can open those rooms. I can run those rooms. So I can say open now. And then it'll actually put everybody into one of those rooms. And they haven't selected to join yet. I'm not too worried about that. And I can send a message to everybody, so that's pretty easy. And then I can close those rooms. Everybody will come back into the main room. And I still have my pre-configured rooms. Now let's say that I wanted to do a breakout with totally anonymous students, so a different kind of conversation happening in breakout rooms. I can go back to recreate. I can say recreate all rooms. And then I can decide, oh, I only want to have 2 rooms. And it's going to 1 to 2. I can say recreate. And now I have just the 2 rooms, and they're now back to being called breakout rooms again. Then I can pop people into the rooms, off they go, and then I can bring them back. Then if I want to change things up again, I can just say recover my pre-assigned rooms. Yep. And there's my pre-assigned rooms. Now here's the cool part that I figured out earlier today, and this is not in the Zoom documentation anywhere that I can see, but I have been asked the question of, can I have another group preloaded and populate those? Well, on the fly you can't do that, but you could say, I'm going to put everybody out into these breakout rooms. And then what I'm going to do is, as the host of the meeting, I'm just going to go to end meeting, and I'm going to leave the meeting. And that takes me back to my Zoom website here. And then I can see where I am. I'm going to edit this meeting. My rooms are still going. My students are actually in the breakout rooms doing their own thing. And I can come down in here and I can say edit, import from CSV. I'm going to bring in breakout room 2. Now these are my research groups. I say save and save. And then I can rejoin my room. Open Zoom. And here we are. I'm now back into my Zoom room. And I can actually go into my breakout rooms. I'm going to close all the rooms. And those rooms are now closed. And we can see I have study group. And now I can go recover pre-assigned rooms. Yep. And notice it's now changed to research group. So you could have your CSV files pre-configured, and then you can log out of the room for just a matter of 20, 30 seconds while students are working in breakout rooms, and then come back in, click it, and away you go. And once again, I can say I'm going to recreate all rooms, and I'm just going to change them all up. I can do a random thing and it's been random one more time, and then I can always go back and recover my pre-assigned room. In order for pre-assigned rooms to work, you have to make sure that the require authentication setting is turned on, and you want to make sure you turn it on to require a net ID. If you don't do that, then the people who are not logged in will just stay in the main room. Hopefully, you found this helpful.